Hello and welcome to another edition of Crypto with Chingas. My name is Chingas. Today we're going to be talking about scripting your very first trading plan. So let's not hesitate. Here we go. You're very excited. You got yourself some crypto. You have swung it over to an exchange and everything is looking real good. You want to get in on one of these trades. Do yourself the favor and stop. Just relax. Let's get a plan together. And then let's trade that plan. Okay? That is what you need to do. So we are going to look at a possible trade, and every trading plan will be a little bit different, but they all will have some very similar attributes to them. You're going to have an entry. Okay. You want to have a stop loss. You want to have a profit target. All right. Those aren't going to change. So let's take a look at a trading plan. Now, sure, it looks a little messy, okay, but that's fine. That's just because all this information is on there for you guys to look at right now and get the idea. Once you do this a few times, your charts will not look like this. You won't need to do all of this. It's a little too much. But to give you an idea of what a trading plan would actually look like when everything came down to it, this is what we got. We want to put in an entry, right? We like the way this chart is moving. We feel that that these right here indicate a hammer and an inverse hammer and another inverse hammer. So we feel that there's some sort of reversal happening here. All right, we did see a sell-off at the 236. This is a retracement back from this high during a downtrend. All right, and we've decided, okay, we want to take this trade. We feel that we see a retracement going all the way back up top here, right? For the time being, this is the trade we're looking at. So we say, okay, well, where do we want to pop in? And currently we're trading somewhere in the 19.4 range. We were looking at possibly jumping in around 18.8, 18.8, 18.87. So if we do that, we're going to need to set a stop loss. Okay, what kind of risk are we willing to take if it fails? If it goes the other way, it slips away from us, we don't want to lose everything we just put in, and we certainly don't want to hold it until it's 60, 70, 80, 90% of a loss. That doesn't make any sense. So what we're going to do is set a stop loss up. Now there are tools over here, these price action tools, they'll sort of give you an indication of percentages. And then you can line those up to decide, okay, where does that actually put me at? Where am I actually going to put those numbers at? This particular chart, we drew in Fibonacci levels, and we'll talk about those in further detail in another video. But to make life a little bit easier, I just plotted them out so that you get a grip on profit targets and what levels do make sense. For this particular one here, let's say we went in at 18.8. Let's say we took a 13% loss. We got stopped out. All right, that would bring us down here, and this would be our level. 16.2 is where we were looking to put 75% of our trade to get stopped out. You know, we want to be saved. And now we're left with 25%, which is not great, but it's better than 100%. Now, let's say it goes up. It moves up in the direction that we want it to move up to. Where do we want to start taking profits at? Well, you had the 236, which we see was resistance earlier. We could overshoot that just a little bit, or we could front run it a little bit. And by front running means you're trying to get out of that trade before everybody else. So we set our target up right here. Right, and our target now on this one we've set is 21.15. So at 21.15, you're going to take a portion of what's left over from that 75% that you put away. So you have 25% of your original investment left for profit targets. Now, Neo has a minimum of $10, right, per trade. So if you're going to do a $30, $40 order, then you could set aside a little bit for that. But remember, 75% of that is already allocated as a stop loss. So if you go in with more, then yes, you can start making all those profit targets. For the example that we're doing in the next video, you'll see that we can only do 2 profit targets because the order was so small. But that's okay. We set a profit target up at 21.15. We put the limit order in. We say we want to sell a portion of our trade, 21.15. Okay, that's great. Now we hit it. The trade is made, you're in profit, you've realized some of those profits. You don't want to leave your stop loss all the way down here anymore. Let's move the stop loss up. 2 different things you can do. You can either move it up halfway to the point where you originally had your risk. So your risk was at 13%. So let's say you're about a 6 or 7% loss, right? And that would put you somewhere around 17.27, give or take. If you wanted to move your stop loss up to that, that would be okay. Some other people will take their stop loss and they'll move it to break even. Right now, I don't move my stop loss to break even until I'm at my second profit target. But every trader is going to trade differently, and you're gonna figure out what works better for you as you do it a few times. So let's move on with the example. Now, this one indicates as a visual what your next trade is. So visually, your next trade, essentially, you're getting in here, right? Which is where you just took your profits from, right? So 21.15 is your entry. 20% gain would bring you to this next level, this 382 level, right? So that's where we're going to say we're going to take our second profit target, and we moved our stop loss up to the halfway point in between our original stop loss and our break-even price. Okay, so this trade is underway. Everything goes good. We take our profits, profit target taken. Awesome. Now let's move on to the next profit target. Let's say a profit target of 3. So here is where we're going to move our break-even price, our stop loss up to break-even. Okay, so now we're at break-even at a stop loss. We're going to go another 13%. That'll bring us to the 0.5. All right, that's another good level. This is where you would expect to see some people taking profits. You are now one of them. You are going to be pulling profits right at that level. You can front run it just a little bit because there's also another level there. If you can see that purple line, that goes way back to the original uptrend. Okay, and that was for Fibonacci's levels on the larger picture downtrend. All right, so that's we'll get into that stuff later on, but it's another level to be aware of while you're plotting your trade. All right, so let's say this also goes well. The worst thing that can happen, you get stopped out at break even. That's not bad. That's still a profitable trade. You've already realized your first set of profits. Now, your third profit target you just took. Right now, you took it at the 0.5. Everything is good. Now you can take your next trade and you can move your stop loss up again. Instead of being all the way down here, and instead of being halfway, and instead of being break even, move your stop loss up to your original first profit target, right? And now you shoot for whatever the next target is. When you do that, realize that your 75% chunk you've already realized profits and took out of the trade, right? So there's the only thing left in there is what you're stop lossing out. That's that original 75%. So you have a couple options. You can split that in half at a 50-50. Now it's all in profit. Even if you get stopped out, you're still in profit. It's still a profitable trade. So you can risk more of that if you would like. You could still come up with a new 75-25 out of what's left over. That's a possibility too. Or you could just simply say, hey, I'm going to hold on to it where it is, and I'm going to continue to move my stop loss up as the price rises. If you are going to do that, then plot yourself some new profit targets. So you took profits at the 0.5, you have a level at the 618, the 786, and 886 level, and a full retracement back to what we're playing off of. What we're trading off of right now is this local downtrend just on this mini section of NEO. If we take a bigger picture of what NEO is going on, you'll realize how small this trade actually is. Okay, so this is what we're looking at for NEO. We're looking on a 24-hour chart. So you'll realize that what we're doing here, right, we're only playing off this little bit, and that's fine. You look for trades in every chart wherever you can, and you find trades that make sense, that have good entries, that have given you some type of indication that is going to go the way you want it to go. Currently, we're only talking about long in the market. We're not talking about shorting it. We're only looking for gains at this point. But this is a trade that makes sense as far as plotting out a plan. All right, you have an entry, you have a stop loss that you're willing to move up if you're realizing gains, and you have profit targets where you could pull profits out of that trade. Okay. You've protected yourself with the stop loss again, and you've protected a profitable trade by moving that stop loss up. So these are all really good things. Again, yeah, the chart looks really messy. You won't be doing all of this for every trade. Most of that you'll be handling right on your exchange platform. You could be doing most of that stuff in your head as far as profit targets go. Fibonacci levels, you could just glance back at the chart, get the level, front run it a little bit, plot it into the exchange, and you're done. So don't worry about how messy it looks. Not every chart will look like that, and everybody will have their own trading plan and their own trading style when given enough time and they get a little bit more experience under their belts. So that is it. The next video will be making your first trade. So that's very exciting. Stay tuned for that one. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll have plenty of videos just coming down the pike about everything crypto. So stay tuned for everything that's coming, and I appreciate it. We will see you on the exchanges very soon. Happy trading. All right. That is super messy. Yeah, it's terrible. Clean it up when the video's done.